What is up, family? Welcome to the Eternal Fruit Podcast, your favorite podcast. Once again, we are your hosts, Alex and
Adriana.
And we're glad to be back with another episode. We've been getting a lot of love on the last ones, and we're just appreciating all the love. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I know by the time y'all see this, there's gonna be a few other things that aren't episodes, I guess. It's just some cool stuff, you know, that they told us, they gave us ideas about.
Yeah.
So we're dropping it for you guys.
Yeah, and keep letting us know what else y'all want us to do, because we do have other suggestions that we haven't done yet, but we are working on them. Trust. Yep. We just want to make it right for y'all. So keep commenting and letting us know.
Yeah, and on the vlog stuff, if y'all want to see a bit more of, like, I guess us, let us know too, you know? Because I know it was a voiceover, but if y'all want, like, a little bit of us, let us know, man. I'm down. I'm game, you know?
Game.
We're already there. You might as well, you know?
Yeah.
That door was already open. You just go through, you know?
Facts.
But yeah, man, we're going to just keep pushing more stuff out, and I'm enjoying it. You know? We're not avoiding it.
And I will say that I feel like this year God has called me to create more.
Yeah.
And, like, this has helped with, like, creativity and stuff like that. Because I know I've always had creativity. It's just about unlocking it and really, like, learning how to use it. And just don't, like, letting my gift just be like that. It's crazy.
Definitely. I can second that, man, because God's given me a vision of something. I haven't done it. I haven't jumped on it. But hopefully by the next episode, I have, and I will release that to you guys.
Yeah.
You know, I'll discuss it with her off camera, and
so
yeah. But this is so related to this episode, actually.
Really?
You know, I'm glad we ran it back, because I guess I'm avoiding that vision, but now I'm not. You know.
Confirmation or what?
Hey, on the low ski, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to tell them?
I mean, by the title, I'm sure they can tell already. Yeah. But we're going to be talking about avoidance.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that I've always struggled with. Something that, like, I've learned is actually an issue in my life. And throughout the research that we did on this topic, I've realized that there's two kind of avoidance, the good one and the bad one. I always thought it was bad. Yeah, but me too. I never realized the good, like, parts of it.
Or, like, in my head, it was, like, good, but bad. You know? Let me explain that.
Yeah, bro.
It was, like, good in my head because I didn't have to deal with things.
Okay.
But then it's bad because I'm not dealing with things.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that we did the research, broke it down, she, like, showed me some things. I'm like, man, you know what? Okay, yeah, there is good and bad. But you got to learn, like, between the two of them, you know? Like example, you're avoiding, like you said earlier, speaking to somebody about something. In your head, you're like, it's good because I'm avoiding conflict. I'm avoiding, like, confrontation or things escalating. But it's bad because you know you had to tell that person something because it's going to benefit them and help out the relationship, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean with, like, it's good in my head because I'm avoiding and I'm keeping things peaceful. But then it's bad because, sure, they might be peaceful, but is it healthy?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times that leads to being stuck as well. Yeah. Because you're avoiding, like fully submerging yourself in the situation or in the issue that's created, that's going to either hurt you or help you grow. I mean, I feel like a lot of the times I would, like, avoid situations because I didn't want to hurt people. But I realized, like everybody hurts everybody. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to go up to someone and just hurt them right away. But, like, sometimes saying those things helps other people grow in other situations. And same thing with me. Like, when people tell me stuff, it helps me grow in those situations rather than, like, making me stuck and be like, man, it's because she never listens. She's just stuck that way. It's like, no, like, help me, tell me things so that I can grow and become a better person.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's just in life in general, too. Because sometimes nobody has to hurt you, right? It's just life. You might be stuck at something and you're just hurting because you're like, when is it my, like, when is it my time to shine? You know, when is it my time for things to get good? But because you're avoiding the work you have to do, and I'm speaking out of my experience, right, out of my life, like, I'm avoiding the things that I know I have to do. I'm being stuck in a place and I'm not seeing growth, you know, like yeah, seeds have been planted, but I'm not watering them, so nothing's growing. But then I'm getting mad at God because of something that I'm not doing, something that I'm avoiding. And at the end of the day, I'm just hurting myself.
Exactly.
You know?
And I also realized, like, one thing with, like, specifically myself that I am an avoider is I need to learn to accept love and give love. Because most of the time I would, like, pick and choose what kind of love people would give me. So I'd be like, oh, well, this person does love me because they listen to me and they'll hang out with me. And then I'd be like, well, this person doesn't because, like, they just, like, don't want to hang out that much, you know, like. And it's like seeing that other people have, like, different love languages, to where it's like, okay, maybe they're not hanging out but they're doing this, or they're, like, giving me this, to the point where I'm like, okay, like, I need to learn that everyone has a different way of communicating and giving love rather than just my way of receiving it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which I just thought of something. Do you think it's easier for you to give love or accept the love?
For sure, give. In my sense, okay. I feel like it's easier for me to, well, recently, I will say in the past I was not the best at giving or receiving love, but I feel like recently I'm better at, like, giving love with mainly my actions. I feel like I give, like, if you know me, you know I like to give, like, without expecting anything in return. Yeah. Which sometimes it hurts, but, like, other times it's like you just gotta do it. And yeah, and I feel like that's the easier part for me, because in my head I always pick, like, okay, well, this is love and this isn't, and that's not right.
So you kind of, like, pick and choose.
Yeah.
You know, just out of, like, comfort.
No, I guess just so I don't get hurt. So I'm like, okay, this person does love me because they, like, my love languages are, like, spending time together and well, quality time. Yeah, specifically eating. Specifically, it's like quality time, and another one, I forgot what it is, but it's like quality time. So in my head, I'm like, okay, like, this person, like, doesn't make the effort to spend time with me, so it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, why am I gonna put more effort to it if they don't want to put effort in?
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one, because I feel like a lot of people maybe don't have that love language, or they might, but they don't really see it. They're more of, like, gifting, I guess. Yeah. Or, like, receiving. Yeah. You know, instead of gifting. So yeah, that's a good one, because it took me a while to see that in other people. You know, like, I would spend my time, like, being the yes person, right? Like, yes, I'll do this, or I'll go over there, but at the same, it wasn't being, like, reciprocated. Not that I expected it, but then somebody pointed it out. I was like, bro, like, it's because you're too nice and you keep doing this, you know? And I think it sets a certain expectation about other people. Yeah. To where I would kind of just, what's the word? Like, because I would expect a lot, I would be, like, hurt, and I would be like, and I would just start being like, man, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense how they can be like that, right? Yeah. But it was just, like, sometimes you gotta learn. Then there's a good one, right? How to avoid certain things so you don't get put in that position, right? You gotta learn how to say no, and sometimes you gotta learn to say yes. But in this case, I had to learn to start saying no. Exactly. You know, and I had to avoid certain people. I had to avoid certain places in order for me to be, I guess, mentally healthy.
Yeah. And 3 points I wanted to give of good avoidance from the Bible is like specifically talks about avoiding fights, avoiding blame, and avoiding harmful relationships. So like you said, sometimes you do have to avoid those people so that you can grow, and learning to say no so that you can grow in certain areas that maybe those people were like lacking in. And it's not fully putting the blame on those people. It's also like learning how to like better yourself.
No, absolutely. Because I mean, sometimes you don't know what people go through or why people are like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's why sometimes you just gotta learn to be able to say no,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or learn to not set expectations on others just because that's how you are.
Exactly.
You know, like something that I was doing wrong too. When somebody, like, say I invite her somewhere and she tells me, "Yeah, I'm down," and then the day of, she might forget or something. I was the type of person, I wouldn't like confirm. I wouldn't be like, "Hey, we're still good for today," and then I would show up and people wouldn't be there, or I would like I once people tell me yes, I just expect it to happen, right? And you'd be surprised how many people forget, you
Yeah.
know, or how many times people don't show up or something. And I had to learn to confirm again, you know. And I think it happened recently with the real estate thing. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I was very bad at that, and I had to tell um I forgot who told me that. And I was just like, "No, it's cuz when somebody tells you yes, like
Yeah.
it's a yes." You know, that's how I was like raised, I guess. Like your word is your
Counts.
word,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm not saying people don't think like that, but because people forget.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I was.
Yeah, and it's hard whenever, like you said, you set expectations for people and they don't meet them.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest issue. And one thing that I learned from a book I read was like something I had trouble with was realizing that everyone is doing the best they can. Like everyone is doing what they can to be better. Like I don't know, like if I go to a restaurant and I order something and they don't have it, it's not their fault. They're doing what they can to give the
Yeah.
best service. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's learning to like to let people be, and like don't take it too personal. Don't take it
Yeah.
too serious, I guess.
No, I agree. And another thing that I would struggle with a while back was because you talked about the fighting thing, right? Not that I fought everybody or I'm a fighter. I'm not. Um, but I would love arguing with people. Like
Yeah.
I love getting under people's skin, you know. And everybody knows with the right one, it ends up in a fight or
Yeah.
something, you know. And that's something I had to start avoiding because one, I realized that is not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I probably have talked about it before, but I would just do it out of insecurity or like feel good type of thing.
Yeah.
And most of the time though, it was just because it's funny, right? But now I'm just like, bro, when you really think about it, unless it's like life or death, like fighting is kind of pointless.
Literally.
You know, I sometimes I see videos and I'm like, bro, you just wasted all that energy and time over a parking spot. You know, and then you get knocked out, hit your head or something, and it's like, well, was it really that worth it?
Was it worth it?
You know, so now I avoid that as much as I can. I'm like, I don't really like to argue anymore. I was just like, okay, whatever, you know. So I learned to avoid those type of things, the like the fighting, the arguing, being hostile, and it feels a lot better. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree. And I feel like a lot of times, like, we do that because of how we're feeling, but those feelings go away.
Yeah.
Like, those feelings don't stay.
Instantly, to me, instantly.
Exactly. So there's no point in arguing or confrontation. Like, there is a way to do it, but not like that. Like, there's a way to sit down and have those conversations with people, but not instantly, like, fighting and just, like, going at each other for no reason.
Yeah, and I will be honest, just because I feel like I should. That happened today on the way here.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. I was driving on the feeder, right, and some dude in a minivan was freaking speeding like crazy, and then he was in the far right lane, and there was a trailer in front of him, and people in front of him were already switching because the trailer was going slow. So I already knew he was gonna try to switch. So I kind of like, I kind of give the gas a little love tap, but then I slowed down because he still like kind of forced himself, and then I honked at him, and then I passed him up, and I like try to look at him like just to, I guess, not start something, but just to like let him know. And he didn't even look at me, bro. He just was like, and then I realized like, bro, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Like why did I do that? Cause like you said, you forget.
Yeah.
After that, I just forgot, and then that just leads to more like.
Yeah.
And that topic, I guess, or that incident, is just more road rage. Cause then the lady in front of me, we were getting on the freeway, and she was going slow. I'm like, bro, we're getting on the beltway at that.
Yeah, speed up, bro.
Yeah, and I'm just like, bro, this lady. I didn't say those words, right?
Yeah.
But I had some words, and I'm just like, this lady's going slow, and it's just dumb because you're just like getting mad at nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm getting better at it. I'm not the best. We're all getting molded.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so dumb. That's why I say it's easier to avoid. Because then I thought like if I would have not honked, like it wouldn't, like honking did nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So there was no point in me doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's something I struggle with, patience. But that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's a different topic. I think we've already talked about that one too.
Then I
don't know.
need to go deeper into that topic.
Nah, I feel like we're all like getting molded, like you said.
Yeah.
And we're all getting perfected each and every day. Some days may be better than others, but shoot, we're trying,
Hey, as long as you're trying.
Exactly.
Just keep avoiding the bad stuff.
Exactly. No, but I mean, I think that's the good sense of avoiding. I guess what would you say is like the bad part of avoiding?
The bad one, I think probably number one would be when you have to do something, but you're not doing it. Like I said earlier, I knew God wanted me to do certain things. Like I kept asking for things, right? And then God didn't give me the full plan. It's like if you want to, I don't know, you want to grow like a fruit tree or something, but you plant the seed, but you have no knowledge on like crops or anything. How are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
You just think watering it every single day is gonna do something. Like maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you like overdo it and then you're just screwed, right? That to me is the bad one, avoiding things that you have to do, because it just slows you down, like you said. Like the fact that it's taken so long for something to get going when it should have taken, I don't know, let's just say a month.
Yeah.
And then a year later, I'm still in the same spot, right? Because I was avoiding it just out of fear, like just out of thinking, like, what if it doesn't work out? But if God, one thing I realized, and I mean, it might sound dumb, I guess, but if you like pay attention, everything Jesus said, and it's because I was reading Matthew, right? And obviously it talked about Jesus' death and stuff, and how he knew that he was gonna die. He knew he was gonna be betrayed. I think I said that wrong. And he knew Peter was gonna deny him, right? Yeah. 3 times. And it just made me realize everything he says comes to pass, right? So what's the point of me avoiding things?
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say too, is like if you're avoiding things, it's like you're not accepting God's will.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I realized today. I was like, bro, if everything he said in the Bible happened, like who am I to avoid things, to let fear and shyness come in and just block those blessings?
Yeah, and not just that, but who are we as humans to think that we have control in that when he's already spoken that over our lives?
If he doesn't even control you, why are you trying to control him, or essentially, right?
Yeah.
No, I get what you mean. So that's what like struck me today, where I was like, bro, why am I allowing, or why am I avoiding things? Like with the vision I said with you guys, and it hasn't been long. It's been less than a month since I received
a month
that.
too long, bro.
Yeah,
Not kidding.
nah,
I'm
for
kidding.
real. You can say that again. So for anybody, if you know it was God's voice, stop avoiding it and just do it. You know, it's scary. Yeah, it's like somebody was trying to start a business one time, and that's like was their number one thing holding it back. Like, it's scary. What if it doesn't take off? Like, what if people don't like it? And again, like, if God told you, then what the heck, right? Like, people say, if it's right or wrong in God's eyes, who cares what those around you say?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something that definitely stood out to me today, and I guess God is just confirming and reminding me to not worry, that He'll lead me. Maybe I'll talk about it on here later on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But because it's a lot, and it is scary, because then I'm like, man, I don't know, but we'll see, you know?
And I will say, I think I mentioned it earlier, the 3 attachment styles, the anxious, secure, and avoidant. And I feel like every day we should all like work on being secure attachment styles. And like one of the ways that we all can work that way is learning to rely on God more each day. And not relying on ourselves. I mean, I struggle with that all the time because, like I said, I'm avoidant, and I feel like in order to like actually be safe and trustworthy is like by myself and in myself, not in others, because like I said earlier, no matter what, like we're all gonna get hurt. And I thought I could avoid it by like maybe not talking to people or like being by myself, but in reality no one is meant to be alone, you know? Like we're all created to be with someone, which is like whether with family or an actual like significant other. It doesn't matter, but we're not meant to be alone as a society, like I said. I think a few episodes back, we're like, in America, we're taught like by 18, we gotta go, you're on your own. But that's not how like society, like that's what society teaches, but that's not the reality of it.
Yeah, that's not how it goes, you know? That's why they say, you want to go fast, go by yourself. And you want to go far, you know, build you a team. And that's how the most like successful businesses are. Everybody would tell you that you got to build, one, a system, and two, you got to have the right team around you, you know, because you can only go so far, you know. Like, let's say you scale your company to 500,000. Once you get that team, you probably triple that, right? Unless you're by yourself. I mean, that's a lot of money, right? But how much more do you think it would take you with a team, by yourself versus with a team, you know? But you're just avoiding it because you're scared. What if this person fails me, or that person crosses me, you know? But again, if God puts that plan in you, bro, it's gonna work out one way or another.
Exactly. And like we said, like it's about being together with someone. And I don't know why, but this keeps popping up in my head. Like, one thing I learned recently is like when someone hurts you, you want like God to take full revenge on them. Like, let God, like, you know, take control in that. But whenever you hurt someone else, you ask God for mercy.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of praying or saying like, God, you do your thing, like why with them do you take that approach, but when it's to yourself, you ask for mercy? Damn, you know, like I feel like we should all be asking for mercy for others that have hurt us, rather than like you know what I mean, like
trying to let your like your own anger, which doesn't, I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't make sense, but I can see why people do that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And I've never done that,
yeah,
first of all, because that's not the type of God we serve.
Exactly.
You know, that's one thing I heard yesterday in a video that I watched. A lot of people who sin, they think, oh, because I sin, God's gonna punish me. Like, that's not the God that we serve, right? So what makes you think because somebody else hurt you or sinned against you that God's gonna punish them?
Exactly. And I feel like that's one way that I would think, and I still struggle with thinking that way, is like, if I messed up, it's like, and something happens to me where it's like bad, then I'll be like, oh, it's because I deserved it because I sinned and I did this and that. Where it's like, no, God already forgave me for my sins. Like, it doesn't mean I'm gonna still like go out and like get drunk and stuff. Like, I'm not like that.
No, just kidding.
I'm not like that. But either way, like it's not like God doesn't punish you or others just because you did one thing. And I feel like one thing that always stuck with me was like someone told me like, anytime someone hurts me, God always punishes them 10 times more. And I was always like, oh, shoot, like, man, that's true. And I've come to terms and realized, like, no, that's not true, because I, as a daughter of God, am, like, also, as much as I'm a daughter of God, that's how much you are a son of God. And what makes you think he's going to punish you more than me? You know what I mean?
But at the same time, like you said, when you help those in need, you're helping me, you know?
Yeah.
And when you're hurting those, you're hurting him, essentially.
Yeah.
Not to say he's going to punish them, you know? But if they're hurting you, a child of God, they're hurting him, you know? And I think the best punishment that God gives is when somebody holds you down or brings you down, he just exalts you, right? He just shoots you up. And that to me is a punishment in itself, because like, let's say somebody didn't believe in you or somebody screwed you over for something, and then you got 10 times more. You know, who really like got hurt?
Yeah.
Not you. Even though they took X amount from you, you got X amount back, you know, which is way more than what they took. So yeah, like she said, like, it's not good to pray about punishing others.
I agree.
You know? And don't also, something I struggled with was like punishing myself. Like, I would get so mad and angry with myself, but then I realized that was also pointless. You know, because if God's not punishing me or angry with me, and I can just repent, and obviously not just say I repent, like I actually repent with my actions too, then why am I still going to hold on that anger for so long?
Yeah.
You know? And
I agree.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, I struggle with that too. Like, I feel like I self-punish myself.
Yeah.
Whereas, like God's, like, not even thinking about that. He's telling me to let it go. And then I'm like, no, it's because you don't understand. But yeah. I feel like, I don't know. That's an issue. I don't know why. Like, I just thought of that right now. It's not really going with avoidance a little bit. I mean, maybe just a little bit of, like, maybe if, like, I avoid putting the blame on others, not put it on myself. I feel like I do that a lot, where I'm like, like, someone will hurt me, and then instead of, like, blaming them, I blame myself.
Yeah, you try to figure out where you went wrong. Yeah. But it wasn't you.
It was you.
It was you. It's always been you. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, yeah, again, like, you're just avoiding essentially the truth. Yeah. Right? And which is not good. It's always better to confront instead of avoid. Always. I'm a stand on that. I don't care what nobody tells me. Whoa. Especially you.
I think it's good, but if you do it a certain way. Yeah, no, not absolutely. Like straight up you're sinning like that. Like, bro, I'm sinning too. Like, I just said it, but I'm sinning too. So are you. Like
those people that are like, oh, you're going to hell for, like, bro, who are you to tell me that? Yeah. You know, you're not God. I'm not. I always, not that I get mad, but it's just like, not even, I think annoyed is like too even low for that. But it just annoys me, you know, like when people are like, oh, those people are going to go to hell. I was like, what? Like, who are you to say that? Exactly. You know, like, I can't tell somebody, oh, yeah, you're going to heaven just because you're going to church. Like, no, who am I to say that? Yeah. Exactly. You know, so stop avoiding The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Keep avoiding the bad stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Nah, hopefully, I mean, this kind of helped a little bit. I mean, is there any other bad way of avoidance, really? Like procrastinating and like avoiding other stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we
kind of touched on it.
Yeah, like emotions.
Yeah. I mean, just like avoiding is like based on what I have done to avoid stuff. Like in past relationships, I know like I said, I avoided expressing my feelings because I didn't want to hurt them, and second, because I didn't want to get hurt as well. And like, I don't know. Just there's a lot of different ways of avoiding that aren't good, and there's some that are.
Yeah, let us know of stuff you've been avoiding.
Yeah.
That you know you shouldn't be avoiding. Or a time you avoided something that actually benefited you, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be interested in hearing that.
For sure. I think it's good whenever you avoid saying things. Like another example of it being good is like whenever I think something and I'm like, I'm going to say it. And then God's like, no, don't say it. And then I don't say it. And it's like, oh, that's why you didn't want me to say anything.
I get that a lot, bro.
Yes.
Because if you know me, you know I'll be saying some crazy stuff. I try not to as much. But I just can't avoid it sometimes.
I agree.
Yeah, no, but.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And hopefully it made a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
Be sure to leave us a comment. Give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe. And turn on those notifications so that you get notified whenever we post. So let us know if y'all want us to make us a podcast about a certain topic or anything. So we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.